How is Europe working to prevent and fight corruption? I'm Stéphanie Lhomme, partner at Arends, leading the forensic investigations, corporate intelligence, and litigation support practice. And in this episode, we will explore the evolving anti-corruption framework in Europe. I have been working on anti-corruption compliance and corruption investigations for more than 20 years. In the US, with the Department of Justice strongly enforcing the FCPA, then in the UK when the SFO strengthened its enforcement of the UK Bribery Act, and finally in France when in 2016 the country reinforced its approach with the Sapin II law and the creation of the French Anti-Corruption Agency. When I came to Luxembourg, I was surprised that despite the strong focus on anti-money laundering, corruption as a primary offense was little discussed. Surprising indeed, as I had in my career many cases of corruption in the investment management sector that could highlight the importance of anti-corruption measures in a financial hub. In fact, I came to this field of expertise out of mergers and acquisitions. On several transactions, either bribes were requested to facilitate the investments, or contracts were won by the acquisition target through bribes. However, things are rapidly changing. Indeed, in May 2023, the European Commission presented an anti-corruption package which includes a proposal for a directive on combating corruption. This proposal has been raising new interests and expectations among professionals, including for its impact on compliance. An update was provided in September 24 by the European Parliament. Note that discussions around the CSRD have also, at least in some countries, shed light again on corruption. The proposal seeks to update and harmonize the fragmented EU legislative framework and address the shortcomings of the previous directive, which are mainly insufficient transposition, inconsistent definitions of offenses, lack of liability of legal persons in some member states, and significant disparities in the penalties. It's important to note that the proposal brings together for the first time public and private sector corruption in one legal instrument. The offences now punishable as crimes on an EU level are intentional bribery, both active and passive, intentional misappropriations of entrusted property, trading in influence, intentional abuse of functions, intentional obstruction of justice, public officials' enrichment from corruption. And the penalties are as follows. Criminal offences are punishable by a maximum term of imprisonment of at least between 2 and 4 years, depending on the offence. Individuals convicted of the offences may face additional non-criminal penalties such as fines, removal from public office, and exclusion from public funding. Companies are also subject to sanctions in the forms of fines, which, depending on the offence, amount to at least 3 to 5% of their total worldwide turnover, or at least 24 or 40 million. A few comments are important here, especially for compliance officers. The criminal liability of legal entities is one of the main updates, especially since it includes the characterization of offences by omission, lack of supervision, or control. The introduction of out-of-court settlements for companies, which is strongly encouraged. The rules of jurisdictions, with the extension of the jurisdiction of the court of the registered office of the company benefiting from the infringement. And the preventive aspects, i.e. compliance policy, as the aim is to anticipate and avoid criminal liability by demonstrating adequate control and supervision, by setting up effective internal control, ethics awareness, compliance programs, and preventive tools to prevent corruption before the offense is committed. So it is probably wise to be proactive on this issue. In the next and last episode on corruption, we will take a closer look at Luxembourg and the financial sector. Stay tuned.